Shalom, praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem HaRakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to the brothers in the work of Syrian truth. Yeah, got this article on the sun, and it's guiding to, Russia. They're furbishing that sword, man. Those nukes, the missiles, they have a goal, they have an objective, and obviously, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has set up these guys as the, opposition to, the, the Western world, mainly America, man. The Babylon the Great, they're in contention. And this is all moving through the spirit, which is why the main thing that's got everyone on edge about this conflict is what nuclear missiles are, nuclear capabilities. That's what's got everyone on edge. They're like, oh, what if Russia used nukes in Ukraine? Or, Russia said, they can strike on London. That's why I was everyone antsy, because you're in Europe, and then you're in range. And really, this is NATO and America's conflict, chiefly America. But, all the European allies are the ones at risk. And other than, I think France kind of has the military on point. The UK has their submarines. There's, it's man on this side over here, in Europe. They'll be the ones getting touched first. So yeah, it says, ready to fire. Putin orders test nuke launch on the West in surprise shows strength on anniversary's flagship Moskva sinking. It says Vladimir Putin has ordered his fleet to test a nuclear missile launch in a surprise revenge move on the 1-year anniversary of the sinking of his flagship. The unexpected drills were announced by Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu 1 year after the sinking of the Moskva. Vladimir Putin ordered his specific fleet to undertake surprise war games to test their readiness to stage a retaliatory nuclear strike on the West. And the Pacific Fleet's strategic firepower has been seen since Soviet times as Moscow's main weapon in retaliatory strikes. This move appears to be a deliberate show of strength against the West amidst Putin's war against Ukraine, which has already cost hundreds of thousands of lives. And I think there was what would you call it? There's a few things. So it's what happened with the guy doing the leaks. The guy that worked in the Pentagon, I believe, the kid was like 21 or 20. I think more 21 maybe. He was he was talking online and just leaking insider information, and then the guy got caught in like 2 seconds flat. There's something where they're gonna be looking to roll that into restrictions on on the internet, on discussions, maybe on more surveillance on people using that talk about certain things, because that's been what do you call it? That's been, I remember over here you've had something similar happening with the police, where it's like private chats the police officer are in, like people are getting reprimanded for shit they're talking about in private. But yeah, in the US, it's from what the hell's that guy Edward Snowden, them kind of leaks. And William Assange he's right now, he's getting his balls cattle prodded, he's getting his nipples ripped off, he's getting teeth pulled out and stapled onto his forehead right now. He's getting he's going through hell on earth, bro. He's like they're they've that guy is top on the list of those that want to be revenged against by the US. So that's something that can lead to far more restraints, being applied on the internet. So it says, amid Putin's war against Ukraine, which has already cost hundreds of thousands of lives, the exercises based around a naval base in Vladivostok were expected to involve the firing of missiles and testing the readiness of nuclear-capable strategic bombers, as well as the fleet submarines. These war games also had more limited objectives, such as repelling supposed enemy attacks at Sakhalin Island and the Kuril chain north of Japan. Japan asserts territorial rights to the Kuril Islands, which were grabbed by Stalin in World War II. I think there was a region of Finland as well that was grabbed by Russia, and it was being spoken about that might cause contention with NATO, but we'll see. It says Russia's what did it say? Russia last year suspended peace talks with Japan to protest Tokyo's sanctions against Moscow over its action in Ukraine. General Valery Gerasimov, the Kremlin's most senior soldier, said Russia's naval forces would be put on high alert during the drills and deployed to training areas where they'll conduct combat exercises. So yeah, these guys are prepping the nukes, and they said it's a retaliatory strike. But hey, we'll see, because the thing with this conflict, when this conflict was being spoken about, man, we're talking about it's the same 2 weeks the C-19 lockdowns were meant to take. They were saying like in a month, in a few weeks, Ukraine's gonna get put on smash. But obviously the level of support they've got is why they've been able to hold on. Man, have been donating missile systems, now tanks, aircraft, training staff. They said there's special forces on the ground, from the US, from the UK, from various places, which of course there's been involvement. But then if that becomes when US and British and French, when NATO members, troops and whatnot are getting their fucking wigs pushed back by Russian missiles or airstrikes or whatever, that's then when things you're gonna have to escalate at that point, which is why they're obviously gonna have intelligence in the areas and whatnot. They're gonna be keeping an eye on a lot of things, because they want to be able to come out and say like, oh, Putin's, his toes got cancer. He's he can't take a dump, without 3 men there to hold him up. Like they're gonna be talking, about stuff people not inside should only know, but it's all part of the war games, and regardless, this is all through the spirit, because what we're in the midst of is the judgment, the end of Esau Edom's rulership, man. And a big part of that, I read this, Matthew 10:34 says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And yeah, that's what Yahushua is coming back for. He's coming back not for peace, not for love, not to unify everyone, but for what? The sword. There's going to be mass death and destruction. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to be revenging himself against all these nations, man. And then as well, Isaiah 54:16, it says, "What, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." Yeah, that waster, those missiles. That's why they're prepping it. Because why? It's been prepped, what? To destroy. And for what? For Babylon. This. Revelation 18:21, it says, "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more." Oh, so yeah, fuss with violence. That's how it's going to go down. That's why it's going to be what? The nukes, man, the missiles. They're going to be, you know, built up with those capabilities to, you know, to zip zap, to bring this shit to an end, man. That's why, you know, it's being mentioned, and that's why it's something that's been mentioned time and again in this conflict. Because why? It's it's their time, man. They're gonna be getting used. There's obviously prophecies that need to go down. You know, the Kuragba, the key one. But hey, that's what, you know, Russia's gonna utilize them. Everyone, you know, everyone's gonna be utilizing the missiles, man. They're gonna fly. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, shalom, shalom. Shalom.